Most people think that Etsy is either a hobby platform or a place where you have to physically make everything yourself. And because of that assumption, completely miss one of the most underrated opportunities in e-commerce online currently. Dropshipping vintage and antique style products on Etsy, when done correctly, is not only allowed, it is one of the most high leverage business models on the entire platform. And it starts with demand. Etsy has tens of millions of active buyers, but these are not bargain hunters. They're not scrolling looking for the cheapest option of a specific thing. These buyers are looking for unique items, one of a kind pieces, or home decor with character, gifts that feel thoughtful, items with history, story, or personality behind them. They're emotionally shopping. And when buyers shop emotionally instead of logically, everything changes. The whole psychology on the platform changes. Because once price becomes subjective, margins in dropshipping open up in a way that almost no other platform allows. On Etsy, there's no single correct price for a piece of vintage, handmade, or antique style item. Two sellers can list nearly identical products and at different specific price points, and both might sell. That means that you're not stuck in the race to the bottom pricing that you see on all the other platforms, and you're not competing for pennies. You are competing on presentation, positioning, perceived value. And that is a game that most sellers don't even know how to play, don't even know exists. And obviously it's very different, like I said, with the buyer psychology on Etsy with these specific things than it is on Amazon or eBay or places where you're seeing comparative shopping and finding the best price or the best option for a buyer. The next reason this works so well is competition, or more accurately, the lack of it on Etsy. Most Etsy sellers gravitate towards the easiest business models that are possible on the platform. You see these all over the place. Print on demand. And no shade on print on demand. I still do some print on demand listings. I scaled print on demand pretty severely like 2-3 years ago, and it was great at the time. But obviously, it's gotten a lot more competitive, and the margins and the rates that you can earn just completely tanked, right? Digital downloads is another example of that. Same exact problem. Basic templates that you can download off Canva or create there, or that AI can create for you, right? The issue with these are they're super easier barrier to entry. Anybody can start them, which means there's going to flood in with a lot of new beginners constantly. And most importantly, you can copy them in 5 minutes. It doesn't matter unless you have like specific logo that I can't copy, like an NFL logo or a specific trademarked slogan or phrase. I can copy your t-shirt very easily. I can improve it. I've made countless videos on this, on how you can improve not just the design or, pretty much copy the design. I'm not saying you should, I'm just saying you could pretty much improve the title, the tags, the description, and then literally undercut them if you want to, right? There's nobody stopping you to do that. And that just doesn't mean that I have the opportunity and you have the opportunity. Everybody in the world that has access to selling there has that opportunity. Same thing goes with obviously digital downloads, pretty much even easier. You get the picture. Vintage and handmade and antique style stuff, dropshipping specifically on Etsy, is the complete opposite approach. It is harder, full disclosure. It requires judgment. It requires sourcing skill. It requires attention to detail, and it requires a real understanding of Etsy. And that difficulty is exactly what creates the opportunity, quite frank. Most people never even attempt this business model because they're scared of policy violations. They're scared of getting shut down. They're scared of not doing it the right way, and they don't really know how to do it cleanly. So instead, they choose the paths that seem easier, but realistically, they have brutal competition and razor-thin margins. And I'm not just saying that. I'm speaking from experience. Go back a year, 2 years, 3 years ago, I was talking about Etsy print on demand. I've been through it. I scaled print on demand on the platform. I've seen AI art. I've seen everything. And trust me when I say it's brutally competitive. Now, once you understand how to do Etsy, vintage, handmade, and antiques the right way, key distinction there, the difficulty there becomes your moat. Because of that difficulty and barrier to entry to get started, prevents a lot of other people from starting unless they know how to do it the right way as well. Really protects you because you can charge not whatever you want, but you can charge those subjective prices and make a ton of money. The opportunity is immense. You're operating in a space where fewer sellers are willing to compete, where buyers are less price sensitive, and listings don't get saturated overnight. Now, another huge advantage is the speed and the flexibility. You're not holding inventory. You're not manufacturing products. You're not guessing what will sell months in advance. You can test items quickly. You can adjust prices frequently. You can remove products without being stuck with a ton of different stock like you would on like Amazon FBA, for example, or if you bought a bunch for TikTok Shop or whatever the case is. And because vintage, handmade, and antique items are naturally unique, your listings don't instantly get cloned the moment they start selling, which is absolutely huge. You're not going to get undercut. Nobody else can copy you. And that alone puts you miles ahead of most traditional business models, especially dropshipping, which you see that across the board. And finally, this works because Etsy rewards it. Etsy wants unique products. They want variety. They want buyers to hop on and feel like they're discovering something special and unique. And when you list the right products the right way, you're aligned with the platform instead of fighting it. And that makes total sense. So this isn't, full disclosure, about shortcut. It's not about loopholes. It's not about the easiest path to least resistance. And it's definitely not about pushing the limits until your account gets burned and you get suspended. None of that. It is about understanding the rules, sourcing correctly, positioning products properly, and building a business that's going to quietly compound over time the more you add listings. Pretty much like how wholesale dropshipping on Amazon used. Harder initially to find products to list that were wholesale, could be dropshipped, had no minimum order quantities. So the supplier would do order fulfillment, all those things. Like finding those 4 checklists were so much tougher to find a good product that was profitable on Amazon and also selling, going off on a tangent here, than it was to find a retail product that you can list. The same thing is true on Etsy, right? And I'm speaking from experience over the past decade doing this stuff on a ton of platforms. You can list retail products on Etsy, make some money, you will inevitably get suspended. If you find legit antique products, legit vintage products, legit handmade products that aren't from retail suppliers, that actually have legitimate suppliers that will do fulfillment for you, that have potentially multiple quantity, that ship fast enough within the Etsy timeframe, and don't tie up your cash flow, and obviously fit within the policies on Etsy, you can make a ton of money. All you're doing is connecting a buyer that's already looking for that with the right supplier, nationwide, and profiting the difference. It is dropshipping 101, but it's done the right way on the right platform that's going to reward you for it. Now, once you see how this business model actually works, Etsy stops feeling like a crowded marketplace where you can't really succeed, and it starts feeling like an open playing field with a ton of opportunity. And that is exactly why dropshipping these products is such an advantage and such a massive opportunity right now, if you know how to do it the right way. And I started this, it's almost the end of January 2026 right now. I probably started this like November, December of 24. So I've been doing it a little bit over like almost a year and a half. And I didn't realize when I started this how big of an opportunity it was. I heard a few people talking about it, started with some retail suppliers, moved into like actual legit antiques and vintage and handmade stuff, was just flooded with sales to the point where realistically during Q4 I had to shut my store off because I didn't have enough cash flow. I made that video already. I'm not sure if it's out on the channel or not, but I just wanted to talk about this today realistically, like wholeheartedly to you, because this is a massive opportunity that I really don't hear a lot of people talking about. I've been doing it for like a year and 3 months, a year and 4 months now, roughly. And I think that there's a ton of opportunity here. I realistically can't list everything from all the antique and vintage suppliers. I'm going to stop babbling right now. Hope it helps. Hope it kind of opens your mind up to the possibilities in this new business model. I plan on making a ton more content on this going forward because I do it literally every day. I have a VA that actually does it for me, but I built the systems and did it in the beginning, and I want to make more content on it. It's one of the main things that I'm doing right now. Hope it helps. Any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video.